just a few words on this. What's going to follow is a fictive scenario of the case studies. So imagine that you're all staff of specific companies and we are having a meeting of the company. So that's why we have here, we should be several people. So we are the Goodwood company and we're having our monthly team meeting today. I'm not seeing, Tim should be here, right? Tim, are you here? Just to make sure.
Hello.
Yes, okay.
Hello, hello.
Just want to make sure that all the management staff was here. So let's get it started.
Welcome. Let's start our meeting. The first item on the agenda is our decision to expand our product range. So we want to offer our customers tropical wood panels. In particular, I would like to be able to offer several qualities, including solid wood, plywood, and veneered MDF.
There are two things I would like to remind everyone. Firstly, our company policy gives top priority to certified products. We can make exceptions only when no similar products are available on the market. Indeed, here is our comparative table of possible approaches, considering our supplies from many countries with the risks of illegality linked to practices on the ground.
So that's, just want to interrupt and just remind everyone that's why we decided to include certified supply chains, because we've considered that the level of effort on non-certified supply was much higher in terms both of document collection and programming field mission. And it's much lower with certified supply chains that allows us to have a reduced document collection and also less direct field mission from us. And we also consider that the competency and quality of auditors is much higher. They're experts with their environment. They're also more independent and they have some internal, external monitoring that we don't have if we run out our field missions ourselves with our basic knowledge of all forestry contexts. And in terms of cost, we also considered that based on our supplies in high-risk country, there will be a lot of required field missions which are likely to be very costly based on the countries we would have to go to. And so the additional cost of certification is there, but it's much lower in the end because it will be smoothed out and distributing between all the entities involved. So that's a costly beneficial for us. So that's why we decided to go with giving high priority to certified supply chains.
Secondly, for any new product we place on the market, we must apply our due diligence system in accordance with the applicable regulation.
So I'm Mr. Defoe, Regulatory Compliance Officer, and I suggest a 3-step action plan. So the first thing would be for us to find the right products and suppliers, and that will be up to the sales team. Second, ensure that the certification scheme for the identified product is integrated within our DDS. If necessary, update the DDS. I will handle that. And 3, apply our DDS to products in order to validate a low risk of illegality before they are placed on the market. We will do it together. So let's start on plywood.
Yes, we are aware of a panel manufacturer located in China. He has a very good reputation. Their website mentions Okume plywood, and we can choose between FSC 100% certified, FSC mixed 70%, or FSC controlled wood.
So our DDS already includes the use of FSC certified products. In particular, we must demonstrate that the FSC system is robust and complies with the quality criteria defined by the EUTR, also enables traceability and control of materials throughout the supply chain, and finally covers the 5 relevant legal categories. And therefore, our procedures refer to the FSC guidance on those elements, which includes these elements. But we also need to pay attention to cases where there are possible shortcomings and problems in specific countries. So we found that documented weaknesses often occur in highly corrupt countries. To facilitate our work, we have taken the decision to strengthen the checks conducted for countries of harvest which have a CPI below 45. And here is our decision tree for certified products, including FSC. So basically, we need to ensure first that the certification system used is approved in our due diligence procedures. If this is the case, then we will collect information on wood species and countries of harvest. And there will be 3 situations for which we will run complementary checks, which are if there's a harvest country with a CPI below 45, we will identify all suppliers back to the forest with documentary evidence. And if we have any element of doubts about the reliability and comprehensiveness of the country of origin identified or the species identified, we will also conduct additional checks. Once we've done that, we will validate the supplier and supply chains. So we have 3 steps. We'll first check the validity of the certificate of the identified supplier, then include our request for certified products in our contracts and purchase orders, and finally, upon delivery, we will check the certification details for these products on the invoice received. Right? So I can confirm that the first condition is verified for the FSC system.
Great. Maybe I will take over on the screen sharing, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Okay, great. So now let's go to the supplier to find out about the species and the countries of harvest.
Hello. Yes, our Okume panels come from Gabon. Some of the inner layers are made of poplar from other countries. I will send you a summary table.
Okay, great. We received the email from our supplier. Okay, let's check what we received. He is explaining us that he can supply poplar 100% certified from China or poplar 70% and control wood from USA and Okume, okay, from Gabon. And there is an attached document. This is an invoice. Okay, coming from a company which is based in Gabon to our supplier. Okay, so it was in September. Okay, it's Pilveneer. It seems to be 100% certified, and I can see here the certificate code. Great. Another, a second invoice. Again, come from a Gabonese companies to the other companies. It should be the processing company, and it's the selling logs. And okay, wait, yes, we can see here the chain of the forest management certificates. It means this is, I think, the first link in the supply chain.
Yeah, so Gabon's, oh, do you hear me well? There was a lot of noise. Okay, good. Gabon's CPI, Corruption Perception Index, is 30. And according to our procedures, we must have a clear and documented supply chain up to the forest.
Yes, I think with the document received, this is indeed the case. The first level is the ATIBT, our supplier in China. I think we don't have the FSC codes, but we will check the after. We have TGI, which is a processing company selling veneer, and we have also an invoice making the link between TGI and the forest supplier, the logs supplier in Gabon as well. So we have the supply chain. Let's take the validity of this FSC certificates on these 3 suppliers. So the idea is to go on the, can you see here the, we can see the websites, the FSC website? Yes?
It's loading. We can't see it yet.
Maybe I need to share all my screen.
Yes, maybe.
One moment, please. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so here this is the Fsc database, which is publicly available to look for certificate data. So if we are going to the section certificate search here, we have a possibility to look for information by different way of different information. So for now, I wish to verify if our direct supplier is certified. So let me check EUTR in the name of organization, EUTR, okay. And we can see that there is companies and ATIBT, this is our supplier here. So he is certified, okay. We didn't have information about that, but he is certified. Let's check that by clicking on it. Okay, we can see here information about the certificate code, the name of the company, its address. Yes, it's correct. It is the address we have so on the invoice. The certificate here is valid. We can see it here, and it is valid until June 21. So we will have to be vigilant in few months about validity of the certificate. And the product, okay, plywood. We can see that it's able to sell plywood as FSC mix and FSC 100%. So okay, everything is okay with this supplier. Let's check and verify if TGI is correctly certified or if its certificate is valid. I will check with the certificate code. Okay. So let's check here. The certificate code here is 109734. Let's see what we can find with that. Yes, precious wood TGI. Okay, the certificate is valid, so it's okay. It's a chain of custody certificate. Okay, we have all information, the codes, the address, and so on. And we can see that he's able to see peeled veneer. Okay, great. And let's check now the last one, CEB. Let's check by his name. CEB in Gabon. Oh, nothing found. Why? Certification scheme. No, yes. Okay, great. It's because I mentioned a code which is not this one. Okay. Yes, we can see here the name code is valid. So everything is okay on the supply chain.
You're muted, Chloe.
Sorry about that. Okay, so sorry. Do we have more information about the poplar components?
No, we have not received anything about that.
Okay, so let's be vigilant because recent FS investigations have highlighted violations of the system by Chinese companies marketing plywood with tropical wood faces. And here is the article that I have found on the FSC website that explains their investigation on those suppliers and who has been identified as cheating the system.
Does it mean that the whole system is discredited or unusable?
So not at all. On the one hand, it is clear that the system itself is incorporating actions to combat fraud and misuse. So this is rather a good sign. And we just need to be aware of particular cases and contexts where this is likely to happen. And this is precisely why our procedures require enhanced traceability for certain countries.
Okay, so let's follow our procedures. For Chinese poplar, which CPI is 42, so below the 45, which is our level, we will ask for the traceability of all entities up to the forest, backed with sample invoices. And for the US poplar, as it is a low-risk country, we will request traceability of all entities up to the US exporter. So based on these elements, we will make a decision on which product to choose. But I have a last question. Can we really trust controlled wood products?
Well, controlled wood products are a bit peculiar. Firstly, they can only be sold with a certification claim between certified companies, and this status will not be communicated to the final consumer. Here are the claims that can be found on the labels. So for FSC, 100% claim or labels can only come from FSC certified forests. FSC mixed claim or labels means that the timber might come from a combination of FSC certified forest and other sources such as FSC controlled wood or reclaimed material. An FSC recycled claim means all the timber comes from reclaimed sources. So controlled wood products may come from a controlled wood certified forest, which therefore complies with legality criteria, but not with as many sustainable management criteria as a forest management certified forest. So more commonly, they may come from a non-certified forest. In this case, they have been subject to a legality risk assessment by a qualified entity of the supply chain. And this entity will have an Fsc controlled wood certification code. And here is an example of one.
Okay.
So this entity will have to comply with a specific standard for this and will be audited on this basis. And overall, the Fsc controlled wood standard is setting a similar approach to the one of an operator placing wood on the European market. The aim is to ensure the legality of the wood through a risk assessment approach. And buying controlled wood certified timber therefore means that the risk of illegality has already been assessed by another actor in the chain. So regarding the risk of illegality in the country of harvest, we can therefore conclude that the risk is low regardless of the certification claim. Anyhow, let's wait for the requested traceability documents to mitigate the risk of false declaration. And finally, apart from our regulatory obligations, we can make a decision depending on if we want to favor the share of wood coming from certified sustainable managed forests.
Okay, so now let's look at the possibilities for sourcing solid wood panels.
I suggest targeting wood coming from Cameroon. Let's look at the availability of the resource directly on the online database of forest certification scheme operating in the region. Let's check on Fsc if there is what type of company we can find in Cameroon for forest product. Oh, okay, there is one company, okay. And let's check for PEFC. So this is here the database for PEFC. We can use the advanced research and we can look by country, for example. Okay, let's check that. Okay, no result. Oh, no PEFC certified wood. And let's see in if there is OLB, for example. Okay, we are on the Bureau Veritas website, so it is in French. Not easy. Let's see. Okay, okay. List of forest company certified. Let's check that. Okay, this is a list. It's not a database. It is a list. And there is something in Cameroon. Oh yes, a lot of companies are based in Cameroon. Okay, we can check that. And maybe for legal sources, there is also a database, I think. Oh yes, let's look with the advanced search engine by country. Okay, one certificate, EVCAM. It should be EVA, I think. Okay, great. So we have different possibilities, mostly I think OLB, but we pre-selected some companies. Let's ask to our local sales agents to suggest something and take care of the paperwork. Agent Timber?
Yes, hello. I can offer OLB certified wood. Let me send you a proforma.
Great.
Okay, so yeah, one element is our system does not yet include OLB certification. So I will look for assessment evidence to justify that it's compliant with the EUTR criteria. And I will update our DDS according to these elements.
Okay, great. Here are the documents we received from the agent. So this is our supplier, Agent Timber, with the proforma. Okay, he's proposes some timber on Azobe, but I cannot see any mention of certification of this invoice. Let's check in the Bureau Veritas list if Agent Timber is certified. No result for Agent Timber. So it seems that there is a broken chain of custody because our supplier is not OLB chain of custody certified. In any case, we need to map the supply chain up to the OLB certified forests. A sample of invoices with OLB claims from the forest management enterprise to Agent Timber will therefore be required.
Okay, I'm taking care of it.
Great, thanks. Okay, we have received all the documents requests from Agent Timber. Okay, let's see. With one invoice, two invoice from a company named Sienkam in Cameroon, providing some timber OLB with different origin. Okay, an FMU and a Van de Koop. Yes, there is two different certificate code. Let's check. Let's check with on the the OLB list. Okay, here. Okay, we can see here the code 10988585. This is the code which is here. Okay, it's coming from Van de Koop, and the other one is 170801. This is the first code we can see here. It's coming from one FMU here in the Cameroon. Okay, so it seems good. I didn't know that we could supply from Van de Koop, but maybe we can ask to Bureau Veritas how did they manage to certify Van de Koop. So okay, upon delivery on the product, we will complete our DD record with the final invoice from Agent Timber and all available export documents.
With these invoices, traceability is confirmed between the forest and Agent Timber. After review, I consider that the OLB system does cover the relevant legal categories and meets the EUTR criteria. So at the forest level, there's therefore no risk of illegality since robust third-party verifications are conducted.
Okay, sorry. I cannot see, sorry. Yeah. Agent Timber does not take physical possession of the timber. It will travel directly from the sawmill to us. And we will not buy a product with a certification claim from Agent Timber. We will be able to sell this product with a certified claim. We will not be able to sell this product with a certified claim to our customer.
Well, I'll leave it to you, sales team, to see if that has a commercial impact. So as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't change the risk of illegality, since the risk of mixing with wood from another non-certified forest is low, because Agent Timber not taking physical possession of the timber. So,
okay.
So where are we with veneered MDF?
We have located a manufacturer in Vietnam. They say they have PFC certified panels. They must send us a pro forma invoice.
Okay, the PFC system is already integrated into our due diligence procedures, and the decision tree is the same as for Fsc products.
Okay, here is the mayor. Let's open the attachments. So okay, best it's coming from best panel or supplier. Let's see, there is a label, the logo, PFC logo, but there is no certification claim directly linked to the product and no certificate code. Let's check if this factory is listed on the PFC database. Okay, we are on the PFC database and I will check the name of organization, which is best panels. Let's check that. Okay, 0 result. Oh, okay. So it is not certified. Can we ask
Yes,
you?
that's true. We buy certified products, but we ourselves are not certified.
Oh, okay. Another broken chain of custody. Okay, let's ask for clarification on the origin of the wood and the species.
Okay, I'll send you sample invoices from our suppliers.
Great, thanks. Okay, here is what we have received from the MDF. Two invoice from Eger company, two company from Eger. But I see one with certification code for PEFC, and for the other invoice, it seems that the products are not certified. if I understand correctly, there is 2 factories of the same group that send out panels, Gagarin and Wismar. Let's check on the official PFC database. So Gagarin. Okay, one certificate here is, oh no, it's the statute is terminated. And there is another one which is valid. Let's check that. Okay. It was a former certificate in multi-site certification. So Gagarin was supposed to be one member of the multi-sites, and they have now an individual certificate. Okay. So it seems seems clear. The address, the status is valid. Okay, great. And the other one, Wismar. Okay, there is one certificate which is valid, which is based, the factory is based in Germany, and the other one was based in Russia. And they are selling wood product manufacturer. Okay, it's quite large, but it seems okay.
So for my part, I went to the group website and I found a statement on the species and origins of all their products. And I see the document is dated October 2020, so it seems up to date, not too old. Let's go and see the 2 factories in question. So if you can open the documents, and we can search this document by factory. So yes. So here we can see that we have, in this big table, we have one line dedicated to MDF, HDF boards from the Gagarin plant. And so there's a bunch of figures, but what's interesting is that it's listing on the right-hand side. So all the timbers coming from Russia, so we have information on the country, and they even listed the different Russian regions. But at least we know that all the forests of origin are Russia.
And Wismar here.
And Wismar is here, so same MDF boards. Okay, that's our product. And we can see that there's several countries of origin here. So Germany, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Norway, Sweden, and Poland. So all of those are EU countries, and I have listed them all. So that's good information. And I think we can find also species are listed also in there. Maybe we can, if we search MDF and go to the end of the document, I have seen something interesting. It's at the very end of the document. Up. Should be around here. Yes. Okay. So they have listed all their species here. So we can see, like, for all the MDF boards, I can look for the country of origin column. So here I can look at EU27, and I can identify all the species that are in their boards coming from, with timber coming from EU forest. So Norway spruce, Scots pine, Sitka spruce, silver fir, grand fir, European larch, etc. And there's one column for Russia. So I'm also able to identify, for the boards coming from Russia, I also have comprehensive information about the species in the product. So that's good news. We have information on both species and countries of harvest. We have identified regions of origin and species also for the panels coming from the Russian factory. But based on the invoice received, these are non-certified panels received from Best Panels. So even if we can get PFC certified panels from this Russian mill, which does have a valid certificate, still the CPI for Russia is 30. So applying our procedures will mean tracing the supply chains further upstream, which is possible, but it will imply a higher level of effort. And I can see that the risk is lower for PFC certified panels of European origin, the one coming from the Wismar factory.
And can Best Panel ensure that the panels we buy will be exclusively from the Wismar factory in Germany?
Yes, from our side, we can make that work.
Okay, but remember that Best Panels is not subject to a third-party verified chain of custody standard. So it will therefore be necessary to gather further evidence to conclude that there is a low risk of mixing at their level. as a first step, we could schedule a remote meeting with best panels to understand how the factory operates. So we could ask them to describe orally all their procedures for receiving, storing, processing, and shipping products. And this will allow us to draft a first conclusion.
Just for your information, a member of our sales team is due to visit Vietnam in 6 months. We can include a visit of best panels to make direct observation on the segregation and traceability of the products within the factory.
Good, that's very good. And it will be important to write a site visit report mentioning those observations. It will be included in our due diligence records for this supply chain. Okay, we know enough about the MDF. What do we know about the wood veneer for this product?
Here is what we have received for the veneer. Some invoices coming from different origin, from one companies in Congo, Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana. It is always, each time it is sliced veneer in Agni-Gray. But none of these veneers are certified. But after all, this is only a teeny proportion of the final product.
Well, that's true. The EUTR does not make a difference. We do have to apply our DDS. If these products are not certified, then nobody has assessed their legality. So it is up to us to do so. So there are many, I can see there are many risks of illegality associated with the timber harvesting in these 3 countries for which we have invoices. So can we identify if any company is offering certified Agni-Gray to replace it?
Okay, let's first look at the Fsc database. We can search also by species. So let's take that certificate search and then species here. Name is Agni-Gray Robusta. Let's see if there is companies. Let's check with an FM code, a certification, a forest management certification code. Okay, there is 4. Oh no, this is the same company, which name is CIB, which have different certification code. It means that it should have, I think, 1 certificate by FMU and all seems to be valid. So it seems that this company is able to provide Agni-Gray, yes, Agni-Gray Robusta. Okay. And if we want, we can also, it's interesting, when we are looking into a forest management certificate, we can also have access to the documents of audits. It's interesting. This is a forest management certification report. Interesting. So I think we can go, we will not have time to go through, but we found here the global level of compliance of the company, and we should find also the non-conformity reports. It's interesting. Okay, great. So it's okay. Can best panels approach the CIB company in Congo to source FSC certified wood for the Agni-Gray veneer to be included in our product?
Okay, we will do our best.
Okay, so let's hold on to this supply chain pending confirmation from our supplier, of course. So we would have the following supply chain. We would have MDF panels coming from the Egger factory in Germany, which are certified PEFC. We have invoice to highlight this, and we are trying to create a new supply from CIB in Congo, which can provide certified Agni-Gray. We'll still need to find out if they will be providing logs or peel veneer to our factory best panels, but this is upcoming. And so both products will be manufactured in Vietnam with our supplier best panels, which is not certified, and then it will come to us. So if this new Congolese supply chain is confirmed, we will miss the traceability up to the forest, so backing things by invoices. So we will need to request this. But with that, both for MDF and veneer branch, with regard to the risk of illegality, at the forest level for those 2 harvesting countries, or several harvesting countries, we will be able to conclude low risk because the timber is certified. On the other hand, we will have to take measures to be able to verify and justify a low risk of mixing within the Vietnamese factory. This is really our weakness.
We've made good progress. I look forward to our new catalogue. We can adjourn this meeting.
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
colleagues.
thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.